I try to keep it cute, but I can't. Jamal Bryant's wife looked absolutely stunning in that dress. The dress looked beautiful. Her shape, everything about it. It was just beautiful, right? But as someone who's supposed to be representing the kingdom of God, it should not have been worn outside of the house. Simple as that. It's literally that simple, y'all. Here's the thing. People be like, oh, well, she wasn't going to church. Oh, well, she wasn't doing da-da-da-da. We are the church. And wherever we go, we're supposed to be representing God. Therefore, what we wear, how we present ourselves, it matters. She didn't look like she was representing the kingdom of God that day.
And Jamal Brown, where all that is in the Bible? Okay. I bought the dress. Is that in the Old Testament or the New Testament? I don't. She married to me. Is that in Proverbs or Galatians? Which, everything that you said, was that before or after Moses parted the Red Sea?
Tell me you saw the wife of your favorite preacher in Atlanta arrive at the fundraising event like a villain. The outcry from the churchgoers was fierce. Baby. Since then, Pastor Jamal Bryant and his spouse, Dr. Kari, have been managing the fallout. Pastor Bryant stood up for his wife, claiming that it was just his concern what she wore. However, it seems like they've gone too far with this new stint and are attempting to determine how much people can handle before they call them out. And it appears that the pastor's wife is tired of being pursued by others. It's unpleasant how the internet has been reacting and criticizing them. There are numerous examples of Jamal and Kari's previous actions. Therefore, if Dr. Kari and Pastor Bryant wish to be influences, people are no longer tolerating them towing the queue, so perhaps it's time for them to leave the pulpit.
A preacher, $2 whore. Two. At least two. Now, I didn't say she was. I'm not talking about her. My statement is not about her. My statement is about him. I said he presented his wife, and he said he bought the dress. Those are his words, not mine.
Be all right. The problem began on December 20th, 2025, when Jamal Bryant attended the 42nd annual UNCCF Mayor's Mass Ball with his wife, Dr. Kari Turner Bryant. Many influential people attended the black tie event. The objective was to gather funds to support historically black colleges and universities, such as DCU and HBCU, as well as the students they serve. Now, the objective was achieved because in the end, they raised $4 million for the cause. However, it wasn't the guest list and donations that caused the internet to go crazy about the ball. Dr. Kari and Pastor Brian arrived dressed in black ties and formal attire. However, many were staring at Dr. Kari's clothing when the lights and cameras focused on the couple. Indeed, the black mermaid outfit fit her perfectly and was adorable. She looked fantastic with the skin tone lace below, and it was the ideal complement to her skin tone. With her face card and everything, the ensemble was visually appealing and appropriate for a reality TV star or influencer. Even Beyoncé would look fantastic in it. However, that's going a long way for the first lady of a church, the wife of a pastor. And that's what caused such outrage. People have been observing Jamal Bryant and Kari's connection for a while now because of how churchgoers see their relationship. Didn't give scriptural approval. There was a conflict of interest when they started dating because Dr. Kari was co-pastor at Pastor Jamal's New Birth Church in Atlanta, where she was essentially an employee and he was the CEO. Even worse, rumors claim that Jamal and Kari had been intimate for years while the pastor was still very much a married man, despite the fact that they were officially unmarried when Tasha K outed them for dating. Indeed, Dr. Giselle was the first wife, not Kari. Kari even began receiving special treatment, which left a bad taste in people's mouths, and it even reached the point where it was an open secret in the church. Pastor Jamal and Dr. Kari reportedly attempted to defend their marriage by discussing how they overcame challenges to reach their current position and the hope they offered to others, but they didn't care to clear the air before getting married.
You know, there is really an unexpected hope that has come with it that I didn't expect that it would ignite in people. And so I think that hope has been for folks who have been married before, divorced before, or just searching for love, true love for the first time that had not found it. We've gotten so many emails and messages and stories of people who have been renewed in their hope of love because of our story and what we've been able to share.
However, their fans were even more enraged by this new tactic. It validated the claims made by some that Preacher Bryant is more of an entertainer than a preacher. Furthermore, neither of them could have been unaware that people would comment on such attire. Perhaps they even anticipated some attention from it. And that simply fits with Jamal's character once he began serving as a priest. They were aware that the dress would be flesh-colored when she put it on after he bought it. However, you are accustomed to this as a minister and first lady. And yes, we all know that the dress isn't actually see-through. It's a delusion. I simply don't see how being a first lady relates to the illusion of nudity. You know, I feel like there are some things that you don't anticipate. From specific individuals. People have been discussing how Jamal Bryant was always more of a community-appointed pen than anything else since Dressgate started making news. Furthermore, new birth shouldn't be referred to as a church in the traditional sense. Do you recall the 2007 report that he had caused a churchgoer to become pregnant? His family essentially offered the girl money to end the pregnancy rather than accepting responsibility. They made an even greater offer to essentially silence her and drive her away when she declined. Jamal was nevertheless allowed a place in the Baltimore AM Church in spite of this. Additionally, it was said that Bishop Bryant, Jamal's father, worked in the background to ensure that his son would just receive a slap on the wrist. However, there are rumors that Jamal was accused of stepping out more than once. Had already given birth to a child by a Baltimore woman when he was a Morehouse graduate. According to reports, the youngster was also excluded from family events and photos because Jamal didn't want the world to know about it, and it wasn't a nice image. It doesn't end there, though, since there are rumors that he may have even more baby mothers in the future, which we are simply unaware of. I breached that commitment, which is why I got divorced, not because we couldn't work things out. I had to go through a process of self-healing to figure out what was inside of me. That would violate my pact and covenant, and it would put my family at risk for someone I never intended to be with. After he pushed his ex-wife, Giselle Bryant, through the ringer and she eventually had a mental breakdown, there was a claim that she was in an insane asylum. However, Jamal's religion has never held him responsible for it, so he and his new wife could appear as though they are untouchable and incapable of wrongdoing. He continued to stand in the draw pit and claimed that people were just whining since no one took them anywhere and they were unaware that the dresses they were wearing were appropriate for the occasion. Jamal continued by saying that anyone who had an issue with the dress should speak with him because he was the one who brought it. The remedy, small-minded, envious, and petty people stepped in their way and set up a fictitious measure of holiness based on a dress. You must now aid those who have accepted their complete ignorance without any help in comprehending. The gown was opaque. The clothing was flesh-colored, but that doesn't mean you've never been anywhere or been exposed to anything. In addition, I had to correct the record. This is not to your liking. I must set the keep the record accurate. I like the clothing that I purchased. Recognize a man's worth. Keep your eyes off his residence. Avoid staring at his vehicle. Take a look at his wife. And everybody who looks at my wife would believe that I am a billionaire due to the depth of her character, the breadth of her attractiveness, and the richness of her personality. Is it just me, too? Or the statements he makes during interviews? Simply put, it's not pastor-like. Take a listen to it. The hung dress is one thing. It's one thing to put on the outfit. A fresh life is brought about by it. Yes. Wearing the dress, she leaves the room. Indeed. You first saw her wearing the dress before the occasion. Indeed. What do you think? Why must we depart? Have you all heard that? Regardless of what the churchgoers think, his wife is unconcerned and will continue looking like a baddie. I don't dress for other people. I dress for both my spouse and myself. Well, I'm a wife. Yes, I thought the outfit was perfect for the situation. We weren't at a church function. A black tie gala was where we were. However, this is much more than just a dress for people. The drama surrounding Jamal has been building since he entered the pulpit, and the dress his wife donned was just the cherry on top. Furthermore, the internet is intensifying its criticism, saying that Pastor Jamal should acknowledge that he made a mistake rather than continuing to pretend he is above everything. Sermons by Jamal Bryant have already demonstrated he is not a follower of Christ, everyone. It is further reflected in the way he exploited both his first and second wives. Wearing this kind of clothing in public is improper for someone in a position of spiritual leadership. Bishop Wooden concurs, citing Pastor Jamal Bryant's presentation of his wife as a 2304. People don't take Christians, Christianity, or organized religion in general seriously because of Jamal Bryant's use of the pulpit to protect his wife and the plainly improper outfit she was wearing. However, do you people think a pastor's wife should wear that outfit? Or did Pastor Jamal and his spouse go overboard? Please share your thoughts in the comment section and remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the upcoming video.